All right. Hey, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Court of the Rings Online here on twitch.tv/LOTRO, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. I am LOTRO's community manager, Cordovan, and man, I tell you, the computers and their technologies. So I was just getting ready to stream when XSplit, which is what I use for stream software, just decided to stop working. I had to reboot the computer, and then I lost all my scenes, all my presentations, so I had to kind of quick throw stuff together there. So I'm using a slightly outdated presentation because that was the first one I could find. So bear with me a little bit. I'm rolling into Friday with a very Monday-like demeanor. But also with me here is Druid's Fire. How you doing, Druid's Fire?
I'm doing pretty good, Jerry. How are you doing?
I'm doing...
Besides computer woes.
Yeah, other than computer woes, everything's going just fine here. So we're going... I'm actually in Hobbiton here because I was hoping to get a little bit more festival work done on Dwinstrel here. And I just never managed to get that done. Or Mickle Delving, yeah. Because I was heading myself over to the Party Tree. But, like I said, time got in the way. And I've been working on one of my other characters on Landreval, getting my LI, and then also on this character, actually, a little bit, getting my LI. So we're a little off our books from where we were last Friday at this time, because I had a little bit of opportunity to play this weekend and during the week. So, not a lot, but enough that I was able to get my legendary... Do I have my legendary item on this character?
Yes,
I think
you do.
I do. Yeah, I do, because I just picked it up. I just want to make sure. Yeah, and it's... Yeah, it's officially up past level 10 and all that sort of thing. So we were able to get that because I kind of wanted to get my LI XP starting to go, especially because I wanted to, like I said, hit up the Farmers Fair, and you know, festivals tend to give you some decent LI XP. So it seemed like made a lot of sense to skip ahead, or as it were, in the book. But we are on Epic Volume 1, Book 13. And I think that's what we're going to run here today. And then, once we finish that up, then we will move back on to Volume 2, Book 1, and all that sort of thing. So, now, are you in sync with me in terms of the book quests here?
Book 13, Chapter 8, Ice Giants and Ice Whites? Up in Fachel?
Yeah, correct.
And with the LI, the book 2 whatever's, I'm at chapter 12. I've already got my LI to chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
10,
that's
so.
why my LI thing was there. I actually have achieved the 10th level of advancement, but I haven't checked it in yet. So that's what's up with that. So that's why I'm on chapter 11 rather than chapter 12 on that. But that's fine because I'm still earning XP. So we'll just start with book 13, chapter 8 here today. Let me kind of head over to our chat rooms, and before we get started too much, let me go and answer a few questions here. If you want to port us over, that sounds good.
Are we going to do the LI thing real quick, or are we going up to Fora Hell?
Yeah, we'll go to Fora... Is it Fora Hell? I thought it was Fora Hell.
Fora Hell. It's more like the Yiddish.
Fora Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're hawking a good one.
Nice. Very nice, Sons of Numenor. Congratulations. I will get to that over on YouTube, Jesse, in just a second, because I knew that one was going to come up. Hello, everybody. There's a port horse to the Farmer's Fair at the Stable Master. Yes, that is why I was actually in Mickle Delving there, but then I ran out of time, so I'll have to hit that up maybe this afternoon if I can. Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point, too. I was hoping to actually have time to outfit this character in purple, but I just ran out of time. So hopefully I can do that maybe for next week. But what's the deal with the purple here, Kyrene?
The purple is in honor of our channel matriarch, Eldaleth. She has a kitty cat named Nico, or Nicholas. And sadly, she and her husband had to make the hard decision to let him go because he was in pain, and you know, his quality of life had been suffering. So Gussie Moose, bless her heart, had the great idea of us honoring Elda and Nico by draping our characters in purple because that is Elda's favorite color. So
yeah.
That's purple for Nico.
Yep, exactly. Okay, very cool, very cool. And like I said, I'm sorry, Elda and Gussie. I was actually hoping to spend time this week to re-outfit my character in purple, but then it just skipped my brain. I've been busy.
It's
so.
not that hard. Well, you need to put on an outfit that you can dye. That one does not dye.
Yeah, I know, right? But I just haven't had time to do the work on that yet. I guess my shield is purplish, so that maybe counts. But it's not.
This isn't
purple.
like St. Patrick's Day where you have like one green button on your shirt. You don't get pinched. Come on.
Yeah. Nonetheless, Elda, I am sorry to hear that news, and I wish you the absolute best in all this stuff. So, all right, we're going to Kuro Lieri.
Yeah, Kuro Lieri, and I need to get mithril coins because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mithril my way there too.
But since I was doing my legendary transferring stuff from server to server to get my purple done, all my mithril coins on another server.
All right, so
like
now
the princess in a different castle.
Let me move to the big question of the day. This is one I knew was going to be coming, and I don't have much to say on it, but I'll say what I can say. Jesse Miller over on YouTube, what are my thoughts on the upcoming Lord of the Rings MMO announced this week by company that does like Warframe and all that? How do you think it will change LOTRO? To answer the second question first, it will have no impact on us, our development plans, or anything that we got going on. So it really is kind of a non-issue for us, and we expect it to have little to no impact whatsoever on what we do with Lord of the Rings Online. Plain and simple. That's the message, right? What are my thoughts? We always welcome competition. We're no stranger to it, say on the Dungeons and Dragons side and all that, and we wish them the best of luck. So that's really about all there is to say about that. I think like everyone else, we'll be curious to sort of see what comes together with it and what they end up doing with it and all that. But it'll have no impact at all on what we do, nor our license, nor any of that other kind of stuff.
They were just handy because it's a hunter quest going on, but we need to go find some ice giants and some ice wights.
Yep. Speaking of biz news, I don't know if you caught it today. Daybreak announced like a strategic investment thing that I assume, have been working on for a little while, and someone asked on the forums why I went and put the press release up right away. I knew it was going to come, that we were going to start seeing threads about that sort of thing, so I'm basically just being proactive here and getting the official press release out rather than wait for people to maybe get concerned and then post about it on the forums. Again, that strategic investment thing that they announced, that you could see a link to it on the forums right now, but they basically got... guy who owns the LA Times and all that is doing some like a strategic investment thing with Daybreak, and then taking a majority stake in some kind of new kind of mobile-based LLC and working on a arena in Los Angeles and all that sort of thing. So it's cool. Financial stability is always a good thing. But again, in terms of what we do at Standing Stone Games, LOTRO, DDL, no impact whatsoever. So.
Oh, hey, we need to reactivate the Harnkegger command. It updated.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm actually planning to get to that. I just have been kind of wanting to make sure I get the other news out of the way first. So, fine folks in chat, when people come in throughout the hour here today and say, oh my god, what's the thing? What's the deal with the so-and-so? Just... someone clip that.
I don't think we can clip this.
Earl them. Yeah.
I think one of us mods could do it, but yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard of... You're right. So Smalllife, or however you say it, the rumored Rohan premium housing, is that still in the works? We haven't heard about it for a while. I haven't heard about it for a while either. I do think it's something we'd like to do and we would hope to do at some point. But I haven't heard anything on the timeline on that one. What we have coming up short term here is update 23. We're going to be doing another preview, I believe, next week, probably middle-ish of next week, and that might be the final preview for Update 23 before we go live with it later this month. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But that's something to look forward to, and that is going to include the Hobbit revamp, along with the other things that you can see in the release notes from Bull Roar, if you're interested in that. So that's pretty cool. That, of course, is the Grey Mountains and what have you. So that's something that we're gearing up to release as soon as we feel comfortable doing so. But like I said, we should have a preview on that next week. The other thing that's happening, as was mentioned a little bit ago, is the Harnkegger games are once again coming to Laurelin. I don't know if you were around last year, speaking to the chat folks here, last year for when we streamed it live. It's a really, I don't know, fun event to stream. It looks cool. It kind of has this era of competition and spectacle and that makes for a really, really awesome, fun live stream. So what we're doing again this year is we're going to stream as the entirety, or at least as close to the entirety of the Harnkegger games as we can manage. And that'll be right here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. September 24th through the 30th? Yeah, through the 30th. September 24th through the 30th, right here on LOTRO stream. This is a player-run event, so all the organizers of the Harnkegger games are the ones that should get all the kudos, not me or Standing Stone here. But we are going to be streaming it, and we're going to be highlighting it afterwards if you can't catch it live or you're in a different time zone or something like that. But we're also likely to have some folks from the stream team join us to do some kind of commentary and that sort of thing. And then we're also probably going to, similar to last year, have the fine organizers of the Harnkegger games themselves.
I got 10 of 10.
Yes, I do too. So
Hooray!
now we need ice whites. So that should be real cool. I'm really looking forward to that. It is kind of a bit of a time commitment on my end because, as far as I'm aware, I think I'm the only one doing the streaming of the whole thing. But that's fine because I can have fun with my. Oh no! Now I hit the 10th level of LI. Very nice.
Okay, so we should talk to Wrathwald if you want to turn that in. But
Eventually,
ice whites first.
Actually, for me, it's Waffy. But let's talk to ice whites first. Or do ice whites first.
Okay, you so all right. Then you're a step behind me. Once you get done talking to Waffy, you'll wind up talking to Wrathwald. I'll send you back to Eckhad Dunan.
Anyway, the Harnkegger is a lot of fun. Even though it's a little bit of a time commitment to that, it's a lot of fun to take part in, to see, and all that. And it's harnkegger.simplesite.com. I'm going at the top of my head here from last year, but I'm pretty sure that's the URL. Either way, there's something on the forums about it. There's something on social media about it. You can find the URL if you want to. You can get a list of all the events, and I'm pretty sure they're still actually taking registrations, and in some cases just show up for the event to take part in it. They are giving away to the winners in that LOTRO point codes that we're supplying, in addition to some things that they have taken care of on their own. And there's all sorts of things. Tests of skill, tests of wit, tests of might, tests of song and poetry. Lots of good stuff, so yeah. You should check it out. The ice whites I have actually north of here on the little blue dot.
Yep, they're up in the castle. Just like Princess Peach. And we have a Harnkegger winner chicken dinner in chat in the form of Mr. Ponton Finberry, who soloed the talent competition.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. Can I tell us how many bosses are going to be in the new raid? No. We don't want to spoil that. All of them. Sorry. I'm just going to be flippant about it because, no, we don't want to... Even if I could, I wouldn't want to. Get into that level of spoiler detail on the new raid on the stream. I am assuming that you will have an opportunity to see it on the Bull Roar preview, you know, as we get closer to its release later this year. You know, I'm sure Pinion and crew will have a few things to say about it. But just to reiterate, the raid is not coming day and date with update 23. It'll be coming a little bit later on. And I've got all 5 now too.
Same.
So.
Pinion hype.
Yep. Any news on Grey Mountain's level crafting? On beta, it was missing many class utility items, shields, weapons, and hope token recipes. I don't know the specifics, although I would say that what you saw on that last preview was an incomplete version, and what you'll be seeing on this next preview will be a near complete, if not complete version. So stick around for the next preview, and that should get you a whole lot more info as to what to expect.
From whence came you in this cold winter? Greetings, Egladieras. You are a stranger to the Lumire. Come, Egladieras. I would speak with you.
Alright, we're actually going to find Narkiel.
The winter wind speaks your name.
Iriana revealed the location of a cave where Eariel, the captain of the elf-ship Thoroval, had long ago taken refuge. The LOTRO Saya guides the heroes from the
Alright, so I think I'm up to date on the questions here. Can I talk about the locks system with the instance raids release? Yes. I have to remember what it is, though. First off, refresh my memory. Have I already said something about that? Because we had a lot of internal discussions about it. Yeah, we did, right? Because I posted on the forums, on the Bull Roar forums, about sort of how we were changing it in response to the feedback there. So that's really the feedback. Gosh, it's been such a busy couple of weeks. Let me try to remember what that is now. Yes, because that's the system where we're going to have preferred pulls from the chests and standard pulls from the chests. And the number you get will be limited, gate limited by time, but you'll always be able to run the new instances and at least have a normal chance to get stuff. The first handful of times you run it within a given time period, you'll have a preferred chest pull. So you'll have basically a much, much, much higher chance to get the thing you're looking for. And so that allows us to both remove the concerns that people had about sort of can I run with my friends and, you know, timing and all that sort of thing, while at the same time being able to have some sort of limits of acquisition in place so that we can support the underlying systems that we use. Yes, the flash of we have. My understanding, I haven't checked with the people working on the instances in a little while, but my understanding is they have been intending to make it more difficult, and that what was seen in the preview was kind of a early unbalanced state. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if on the next Explorer things were a little more challenging there. Remember also that Tier 3 is, to some extent, the new Tier 2C. So Tier 2 is a kind of middle of the road rather than highly difficult version of the instance. So for those of you looking for the biggest challenge in the instances, you're going to want to see Tier 3, which is going to come out a couple weeks after release. Headbutt for the man. The numbers, I don't even know if they've officially been decided, but last I heard was something like 753 in terms of Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 during the time frame, which I believe is... I don't know. I don't want to comment out of school on that one. It's going to be pretty generous, I'll tell you that much. Snow. Someone wants me to name the ratingkins of LOTRO. No. Why would I want to do that? Yeah, someone is concerned about, quote, clubbing done in the moors. Just remember that's a function of in-game support, similar to like any other kind of harassment or cheating and that sort of thing you see, so use the in-game support tools on that. We had an issue on the forums where someone kind of raged out on the forums because they kept on wanting to name and shame, you know, people who they were accusing of clubbing. And I just want to reiterate that that is not appropriate on the forums. We've never allowed naming and shaming on the forums. And it's not a matter of, say, protecting the guilty or anything like that. It's just a matter of we don't do public trials on the forums. You know, the people who have the ability to do that investigation and work are in-game. And so the people in-game should be the ones to deal with that sort of thing. So if you go on the forums and like, so-and-so's a big fat jerk and they cheat, you know, no, we don't allow that. We've never allowed that, and we never will allow that. So use the in-game tools on that sort of thing. Gel 5, I know that, I seem to recall a couple of weeks ago you also asked about making the Stone of the Tortoise a passive effect. We have no plans to do that. You know, if it's something that I know that we've been hearing about. I mean, I remember even people asking for that back before I even worked for LOTRO here, and it hasn't been done by now. If that is something that, you know, we do decide to do, then it'll be in the release notes and that, but I just don't see us doing that. The Flash of, we are always interested in, say, adding new loot to older instances and raids, but typically that is a time commitment that we've chosen to do other things with. So never say never on that sort of thing, but I don't have anything, certainly for update 23 in that regard. Will the champ skill delay be fixed in update 23? I heard the answer is yes. I actually have seen a check-in on that, so assuming that it gets through QA and works and all that sort of thing, I believe the answer is yes on that. Stay tuned for the release notes, that'll tell you for sure, right? Because it's not done yet. I mean, it's been checked in, but it hasn't been processed, so. But yes, I think is the answer.
As a champion main, I approve the shenanigans.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was happy to see that one come across the changeless tool. If nothing else, because I get asked about it a lot on this show. So being able to be like, yay, I get to say something people will like, is always a good thing.
Well, we gotta fix that. I thought everybody knew the community manager's job was to be the bearer of bad news. New outfit slots is something that I have talked with the e-commerce team about, and they have talked to the engineering team about. It will take, we believe there's at least room for probably one more in the existing UI. Otherwise, it's going to take a little bit of UI work. But I would not be surprised if at some point in the relatively near future we took a look at that. So, you know, stay tuned, but probably. Do I mean the top-end questing kins? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Nice. I'm never going to live that down. No, it's funny. Never gonna live that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just did that. I have to say, I really do like the reflection here in this water. Very lovely effect here.
Mm-hmm. So to the Flash of the main thing about, say, adding or retrofitting loot to keep it current on old content is that that is work that takes away from doing new loot for new content. So there's only so many, say, itemization folks to go around, and that work takes a certain amount of time. So anything that we would do to, say, add to the loot of older instances is going to be less loot for the new instance. And that's just how it works. So Do I have anti-aliasing turned off? That's a good question. It's possibly... No, I've got 8 times going. I do have just DX9, however, going. So perhaps that's the issue.
Story time. Might want to pan out a little bit.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Is SSG supporting Extra Life this year? Yeah, actually I just recently started talking about that to some folks. We'll have more info as we get closer to October. But yep, is the answer to that. We will be doing Extra Life again this year. What do I think of LOTRO YouTubers? I like you guys and gals. Oh man, they're the worst. No, I'm kidding. No, it's great. We love to see as much of that as we can. I myself watch a fair amount of LOTRO stuff on YouTube. I'm a big fan of a whole bunch. I don't want to name drop some folks and then leave other people without recognition. But there's a, you know, Andang and Gameolio Dan are a couple of favorites.
That went well.
Anyway, yeah, I think the aliasing issue on this water is a direct thing of me just being in DirectX 9 because you know, better water is a thing of DX10. And yes, that went pretty well.
Who would have thought Amarthiel was hiding as what's her face?
Cool. Will RP elements be enhanced in any way in the future? Well, I don't know of any specific things in that regard. I guess I'd love to hear maybe what, you know, what it is you feel would be a good thing to do there. We love our RPers. Overall, I think we have a pretty robust ability to RP in LOTRO.
You want to right-click your character portrait and leave instance?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Will we go back to a past location with new quests in the future, such as Bree?
Scouring of the Shire.
Well, certainly at some point that'll be the case. Oh, shoot, I'm not talking to Saja.
Yeah, because she's kind of not there anymore.
Yeah. Okay, where am I going? What am I doing?
We gotta talk to a ghost.
Oh, yeah, okay. Over on the water there. Will there ever be voiced dialogue? We have voice dialogue. Not as much of that. I'm down. I mean, I've been in the VO sessions. I know we got characters saying things, so...
You're gonna want to come a little bit to the south where I am.
Oh no. Guess I probably should not have fallen into the cold here. No. Ah.
You fell in the water, didn't you?
I deliberately chose to be in the water.
You fell in the water, you
Yeah.
ding dong.
Yeah. I just swam. I figured
Wait,
I'd be
twice?
okay. Yeah. Because why not? Because that's fun. Alright. Don't go in the water. I'm a hardy dwarf. Come on, polar bears. Dwinstrel, the dwarven minstrel, is down for a polar bear swim. I'm just saying. He has hardy constitution.
You need to get that cosmetic then for it. The thing for the male dwarves.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I don't think we're going to do what you particularly want us to do, guy on YouTube, about blue hunters. It is unlikely we will return them to their kind of OP state. That's not to say we won't do work on them, but it will not be a matter of kind of going back to their broken state. Why am I stuck in place? What the heck?
Did you break the game?
I think I did.
If you're stuck in place, that means your network is stupid.
Oh, yeah. I bet I'm having a network issue right now. Because, yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff happening in the office right now. I bet they were messing with the network. Alright, let me reboot the game. Hopefully it'll work. But I'm streaming, so that's good. Any plans to have live DMs in Lord of the Rings Online like we do for DDO? Probably not. It's, you know, the idea of kind of the dungeon master, so to speak, is really kind of a D&D thing, and I don't see it really being implemented that same way for LOTRO. Anyway, besides, say, at some point in the future doing the Scouring of the Shire, I do think, you know, we're going to be giving people a reason to go back to some of these classic places beyond what you currently can in the relatively near future. Okay, don't fall in the water again. Oh, thank you, Absolutum. That's very kind of you. Nope, I have not so far managed to not mute myself. So at least I've got that going for me. I would disagree, James I think our writers are well aware of who Shelob is and are not at all confusing her for Lolth.
You're thinking of the Shadow of Mordor folks of being confused who Shelob is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the packet loss, that was a good call. I should have tried that. Do we get a new beta build? Yeah, we're working on it. Probably next week. Stay tuned for the Bull Roar forums. Will be the source of when and what on that. Now that I'm not moving my desk today, I'm probably going to be taking a crack at the Update 23 release notes. So maybe I'll even know more by the end of the day. There's a bunch of kind of construction work happening in the office area right now. It's actually, we're kind of consolidating into sort of part of the old, turbine WB office, and they are moving over to like a different section of the. Well, it was basically one big space. They're taking 1/3. We're taking 1/3, and the office is going to be releasing out the middle third, so to speak. So there's a lot of lighting and networking and electrical work and things like that happening. Yay, Elrond. This occurred to me yesterday. Now, I know Elrond is a very important figure, and he probably, looks at Dwinstrel and is like, yeah, you're pretty minor, all said and done. But please, Elrond, can't you read out on the porch? Just saying, it would save us hours of time if you would just read on the porch. I'm begging you, Elrond. Yep.
I have a handy-dandy new LOTRO plugin. Well, it's not new, but thanks to Mr. Chromite, I now have a thing that gets all my hunter ports off of my bars.
Nice.
It's called Travel Window, and it's a beautiful thing.
Is it possible to add to the collections panel to include cosmetic clothing? Weapons, if there are any purely cosmetic weapons in housing decorations. I'm not sure about the cosmetic clothing. There's a lot of that in game, so trying to find that into sort of a grid-based collections panel might be a challenge. Maybe on housing items, though. If my volume is too low, I'll make a note of checking out the stream afterwards. If I need to turn up on my end, I can do that. Do I get unlimited revives? Well, I mean, it's just a regular play character, right? But I have the ability, if I really wanted to, I could get myself a bunch of LOTRO points. You have returned from Forakel, and with the fragmented Arkeel. And what is this you say? A shade of Arvedui? Remain there?
Arvedue.
Arvedue?
Arvedue. That's how Corey says it. Speaking of Mr. Corey, or Professor Corey, he will not be streaming after you. He is off at a thing called Mag Labs, where they are so cool. They are using actual 3¼ inch, 3¼ inch floppies for their name badges. And he's given a talk today at 5:30 about how LOTRO is such an awesome interpretation of the lore and how it was translated by the dev team into awesomeness.
Nice. Why are they using 3¼ inches floppies? Or as name
Well, they're
badges?
not using it for anything else, but because it's cool.
Did they go to a store and buy them, or did they just find a big stack in like a thrift store or something like that?
I don't know. But it did look pretty cool. He actually sent me a picture of his name badge. It looked pretty neat.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I mean, I could probably find a stack of them here in one of my boxes, but, you know.
Although I will say this. 3¼ or 3¼ or 3½?
3½, whatever. They're not
Yeah.
actually floppy. Yes, I know. Pedantic.
Well, not only that, but that's for the new generation of young whippersnappers. It should be 5¼ Those are the real floppies. If you don't have to take your finger and move the little hole to the piece that sticks out on the vinyl or whatever. Now that's a real floppy. Yeah.
Oh, no. See, those aren't even the real floppies. You have to have the 8-inch ones, right?
Nice.
Yeah, you have to go super old school.
Yep.
Back in my day, we had to turn the laser disc over when the Millennium Falcon landed in the Death Star Bay. And I'm not kidding.
Greetings. Greetings.
Be good, Chromite.
Okay, let me see. Yes, also, just want to say, take a moment to appreciate the northern lights in the Forakel sky. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's one of the more gorgeous parts of this game, for sure. Why the game is banned from lifetime accounts? It isn't?
It's not. I think there's a question that were they asking why there aren't any more lifetime accounts? But if they're talking how can I not play because I have a lifetime account, I'm on my lifetime account, so I don't know what they're talking about.
How do you post a reply to a thread on the forums that says you may not post new threads, you may not post replies? So we have anti-spam sort of checks in place, particularly maybe even a little heavier than normal just due to the level of spam activity that we've had to fight over on the LOTRO forum. So if you just sign up for a forum account, or if you just initially log into the forums for the first time on even an older account, there's a wait before you're allowed to post outside of the free players forums. If you need to get something done right away, send me a PM to Cordovan over on the LOTRO forums, and I can flip a switch basically to let you through early. You can also send in a ticket to help.sandingstonegames.com, and I can, give you permission to basically bypass the anti-spam wait. But that's what's going on, why you might go to a place and see that you may not post replies in that. The other thing is if it's in official discussions, you can't post new threads. If it's in announcements, you can't post threads or replies. So it depends where you're trying to post as well. Any news on a 2019-2021 producers letters? Well, we're not going to be announcing our plans that far in advance, but we do intend to get a new producer's letter out a little bit later this year, maybe a little bit after update 23, just given the time frame of things. No firm date as to when, but it'll be, a little bit later this year, and that should talk significantly about some of the big plans we have for 2019. I can't find out what time the chicken thing in Crick Hollow is supposed to start. Ah. That's the chicken run. See if I can actually dig that up real quick. Yeah, I don't know. If hopefully someone in chat might be involved in that. Let me know. Just post it up in the thread there if you can. Would be awesome. Trying to see. Hopefully they put something in. Player events.
James, get off my lawn. I'm more than 20 years older than 20 plus.
All right, free range chickens. September 7th, late morning server time, probably 11 a.m. And it's now almost 1 p.m. So you may have missed it. And that's at Sanson's Farm in the Shire on Crick Hollow.
Crick Hollow hype.
Yep.
Hi, Lady Nightingales. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm trying to catch this. So I don't have specific news on classwork other than that is something that is set aside time for post update 23 here. So I do think we'll get to, say, some Runekeeper stuff and probably some Bjorning rework as well. But as I've kind of been saying all along, the way it's going to work is it's iterative. It's not comprehensive per class, so we're kind of targeting things in waves, and they'll be released when they're ready. So some stuff that might be started now won't be released until after something that started a ways from now, because the thing that started a ways from now is ready first, kind of a thing. So, yeah. But yes. David Shellstone over on YouTube. Our kinship leader got muted for, you say, a couple of days. It should have been 24 hours. Trying to recruit for a scheduled raid and had to cancel the event. Any way we can avoid this in the future? So, yes. On your end, for now, what you can do is not spam the same thing, let's say, a dozen times a minute. Space it out a little bit more. But with update 23 here, we're going to be slightly relaxing some of those limits on particularly kinship and say channels to help accommodate some of the recent stuff. So hopefully that'll be a non-issue, if not less of an issue. The other thing you can do, depending on the time and your ability to get it done, is if you let customer service know, they can ungag you. And that's through the help menu in-game. But in general, how you can prevent it from happening if you're spamming kinship chat, looking for raid, 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 space it out a little more. Don't spam it quite so heavily. I can't really get into like the frequency in that because we don't want to tip off the spammers on that, but any chance of a changeable mouse pointer for people with bad eyes?
There's a plugin for that.
There is a plugin for that, and additionally, I thought that, at least on the DDO, I haven't checked on the LOTRO side, at least on the DDO side, we have kind of a wiggly arrow thing, where if you move your arrow, it kind of wiggles in chat, or wiggles on the screen a little bit to kind of make it further visible, and that was due to people with bad eyes on the DDO side asking for it, so. Mouse Finder, I use it on my Guardian. Okay.
Chromite uses it to great effect as well.
All right, let me head over to Facebook here quick, see if I've got anything there. Just mute the spammers. We do that too. Any chance in the future we can transfer from an EU server to a US server? No. That is a technical issue that we're unable to... It's not something we can do. Always thought about playing this again. Is it worth it? Yes. I work for Standing Sun Games, so I'm biased, but yes. There are other ways that spammers get muted as well, like, reporting them and things like that, so. There is an option in Windows where pressing Control highlights the cursor. Oh, yeah, that's a Windows thing. I'll have to check that out. I don't want to bore you guys by scrolling through the UI settings here, but at least on the DDO side, there is a a way. I can't remember if it's called floaty mouse pointer or something like that. And it kind of like I say, it makes a little move of a kind of a jiggly motion on the screen to help find it with your eye. All right, what are we doing now? We're talking to Lairden, so that's over in Gath Forthny, right?
No, he's over in the house.
Lairden?
Yep, remember we rescued him and then he came to hang out?
Okay.
Or did he? One of these days you'll tell us, or hint to us, the super secret project that Scenario is working on.
That might be something you might hear about in the next producer's letter.
But it wasn't the updates to Erebor in update 23, was it?
I imagined you saying that with an evil voice, then an evil laugh. Now I'm afraid.
That was a pointed comment, because it's basically a lawyer thing. It's like, lawyers never ask the question that they don't already know the answer to. Because you've already told me, but you didn't tell the rest of the class.
I haven't told you what this is.
No, you haven't told the whole thing about whether Scenario had a hand in the updated Erebor.
Well, I'm pretty sure that all that updated stuff, Scenario had at least some involvement in.
What can I do for you?
Maybe I shouldn't have reforged Narkil. What, you think? Yep.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Hey, finally book 14. There's only two whole books to complete before we actually catch up on what else we're doing.
Wait, before we catch up with what?
Before we, the first volume has 15 books.
Oh, okay.
We're about to start book 14.
Who am I supposed to talk to? Finglith. There we go.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
You know, that's called passing the buck. Yeah, Hobbit told me I should go here. You go here. Thanks. Wow. Philananth?
I want to have words with whoever named that NPC.
Philananth?
They're not getting a cannoli next year.
Hey, Tortmaster. Nice to see you here. Okay. Book 14 hype. Several months ago, I mentioned regular Q&As with other employees at SSG during these streams. Anything we can expect in that regard in the near future? I would like to. A lot of it, this happens during their lunch period in addition to mine, so sometimes we're roping people in. But when there's an opportunity, yeah, that's something we when we can, we do. Dwarves should get longer legs or shorter beards. Nah, it's a sign of a good dwarf is someone who works around those issues. Yeah. Any chance we can get scalable action buttons and the X to close pop-up windows? I've occasionally had, say, tremors, and those little buttons are getting hard to deal with. Yeah, a comprehensive sort of UI thing like that is something that is on our plate, but we don't have a date at all to announce for that. Especially with the advent of 4K monitors. That's something man, I'm having troubles on the stream, but it's also 1 o'clock, so oh well.
Where are you going?
I got stuck on an instance. But
well, no, if you talk to the cook, she says to go to the Shire and get clover. You just go to the supplier right here.
oh, okay. Alright, anyway.
Broke it.
The UI thing, yes. That is something we'd like to do. We'd like to be able to have some extra flexibility to deal with 4K monitors and things like that. It's on a long list of engineering wants. So when that gets to the surface of their work, as opposed to some other things they have to do, like 64-bit client, hard to say, but it is something that we've heard you and we want to do. Alright. We don't need a comprehensive UI update that will take too long. We just need to be able to zoom all dialog windows in the same way we currently zoom the quick bars. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's part of that work, right? But if we're going to sort of crack open the UI shell, then it's probably worth doing some other tweaks as well. Am I past level 50 yet? Yep. Will there be any trailers in the future again? Probably. I mean, I'm sure there will be at some point. It's 5 a.m. in New Zealand. Awesome. Okay, that's going to wrap it up with Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTROstream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back next Friday with more questing and a lot more information, hopefully, about, because we'll have Bull Roar infos and things like that. As you say, Corey is not on, and you're going to be on in a little bit, right?
As soon as you take off, I'm gonna start streaming.
Okay. Well, then stay tuned for that then, and you can find our full schedule over on twitch.tv/LOTROstream. This is the final weekend for the Farmers Fair. It gets turned off Monday, 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you have not yet taken part, or if you've got a little bit more work to do it this weekend. You have through Sunday being turned off early Monday morning Eastern Time, the Farmers Fair here. And as far as I know, it's not getting an encore, so plan accordingly. All right, have fun, everyone. Hope you have a great LOTRO weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon.